He said that friendship was like a gem when asked about his lack of friends. He said it was elusive and valuable. There aren't many real friendships out there, and when you make a few mistakes, you start to think that all friendships are just illusions. Building on this idea, someone else said that true friends are treasures to be held dear. But what does it mean when you find yourself often alone in a world that seems to be full of connections? Find out what's really going on and, most importantly, show you how to make real one. Lack of confidence or being shy. As a sculptor cuts away at stone to reveal a masterpiece, so can you shape your social worlds, making lasting connections with others. So let's stay focused and start this journey together through the lens of Stoicism, with open minds and hearts ready to learn, grow, and connect. Whether you're shy or outgoing, the maze of social interactions can feel like a puzzle to many. Being shy or introverted is often seen as a problem on this path, but what if we saw these traits not as problems, but as what makes us unique? Different ways to look at things. At the heart of Stoic wisdom is the skill of turning what you think are your flaws into strengths. Marcus Aurelius said, "Through time, accept the things that fate binds you." The first step is to accept your nature. If you're shy, that's not a flaw. It's a quiet power. It's about understanding that your journey is unique. Not only that, but when you accept yourself, you break free from the chains of what-ifs and should-bes. You can't be shaken in your quiet confidence when you're around a lot of people because you accept yourself. Now let's talk about the present. You're at a party and feeling that familiar pull of shyness. This is where Stoicism comes in handy. It tells you to focus on what you can control, which is your actions and words. 2. Trust issues. Your kindness, not in what other people think or what will happen in the end. When you speak, don't do it to impress, but to show this change in attention. From fear of being judged to saying what you really mean, being honest makes talks less of a battleground and more of a place to make real connections. Also, keep in mind that friendship isn't a prize to be won, but a garden to care for when looking for relationships. Free yourself from the need for quick results, like Seneca did. See each interaction as a step on your path, not a test of your worth. By focusing on being your true self, you make room for relationships that fit with that self. Remember that, from a Stoic point of view, every person you meet is a chance to learn, grow, and reflect, not just another friend to add to your list. Being shy and quiet can be strengths. It's not about getting rid of these traits, it's about knowing them and using them to get through the complicated world of human relationships. 2 problems with trust that come up a lot when people are trying to figure out their friendships. You have to walk on a tight RPP while combining your own values with the unpredictable predictability of others. You can't just get people to believe you, you have to earn it over time. To do this, you need to know what makes you tick and what scares you. Knowing who you are is like having a compass in the relationship wilderness. It's about knowing when to let someone in and when to keep the door shut. Just like a tree stands strong because it knows its roots, you should know your roots and what you value. 3. You can't move with the changing tides of human connections because you don't have enough social chances. People change like the seasons. Someone may seem trustworthy one day and not the next. This isn't a call to protect your heart, but to understand that the only thing that stays the same is change. Keep your emotions in check if there is no trust left. It's not the end of the world, it's a chance to learn and get stronger. Being realistic and realizing that perfection is a myth, especially when it comes to people, is what you need to do. Be like water, adapt, flow, but always stay true to your nature. Honest communication is your best tool. If doubts start to show up, talk about them. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Things become clearer right away. Don't be afraid of these talks. They can lead to deeper, more important connections. If you want to clear up a misunderstanding, you need to talk to someone and listen as much as you talk. This balance of talking and listening creates a dance of words, and understanding that strengthens the bonds of friendship. In the end, it's about making friends where trust is the foundation, not an afterthought. 3. Not enough social chances, how to find your way through the maze of modern life. You might find a quiet truth. Not having friends isn't always because you don't meet new people. Often it's because you're too busy on your phone to interact with the world around you. Our phones are buzzing with alerts, but our hearts long for real relationships. Think about this. Helping others by working in your community isn't just a way to help others. It's also a way to meet souls. 4. People who care about the same things you do. Whether you're planting trees or organizing books at the library, every shared task is a thread that weaves you into the social fabric. These actions show a strong virtue that helps the greater good, and you find people who are on the same path as you. But let's not forget the power of shared knowledge and passions. Imagine walking into a room where everyone talks the language of your job or hobby. Workshops and talks about things you're interested in aren't just good for adding to your resume. They're also great places to meet new people and make friends. When you're with people who understand the details of your work or passion, it's easy to have talks. It's like finding your tribe, where professional growth and personal connections go hand in hand. Also, don't forget to use the outdoors as a social canvas. Activities like camping, biking, and group yoga aren't just good for your health. They can also help you connect with others. Show off your wildflowers. These activities take away the formalities of normal social situations, letting real connections form. While you're out there, be thankful for the people and things around you that make your life more interesting. It's not about having a lot of friends. It's about cherishing the ones that make your life more interesting. This approach, which is based on simplicity and sincerity, makes the search for friends a fulfilling experience. On the road 4, not being good with people making friends doesn't just happen. It takes work and the right technique. In our busy lives, we often forget that not having good social skills can be a 5. It can be hard to make real friends when your circumstances change. Remember how Marcus Aurelius gently told us to love the people fate brings into our lives? That was a hint to take advantage of social opportunities, no matter how small they may seem at first. Start a conversation in a coffee shop, join a club, or join online groups of people who share your hobbies. These small exchanges are what make people trust people in, like a plant that needs water and sunshine, social settings. For social skills to grow, they need care and time. Listening with purpose and empathy is an important part of social skills. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, being the one who listens makes you stand out. Ask questions not just to answer, but to understand. Dive into other people's stories with genuine interest. This shift in focus from how you're seen to how others really feel builds stronger connections. It's not about impressing people with your wit or stories. It's about making them feel valued and heard. Also, be calm during the ups and downs of social interactions. Not every conversation will lead to a lifelong friendship, and that's okay. Every interaction, whether it turns into a friendship or fizzles out, is a step forward in your social journey. 6. Changes in goals or growth. Rejection is a normal part of human interaction. Each time you go through it, you learn not only how to deal with others better, but also how to handle the complicated web of relationships with grace and strength. Remember that your worth isn't based on how many friends you have, but on how well you care for the ones you do have. 5. Our lives are always changing, and sometimes not having friends can tell the story of the boy and the apple tree again. The story shows how our priorities change as we get older, and we may drift away from connections that were important to us as kids. When we're young, our friendships are like the tree's playtime, pure and unburdened. But as we get older, like the boy, our focus shifts to what we see as essentials: money, status, a home. In this pursuit, we may unintentionally ignore the friendships that used to protect us, like the apple tree did by giving us shade. Changes in goals are normal. They're a part of growing up and changing. But when we're looking for what we think we need, we forget about what we already have. In the same way that the boy only went back to the tree when he needed something, he didn't realize that it was a constant, uncomplaining friend. In our quest for success and security, we don't think about the friends who are quietly behind us. The result was a void that might have been filled with achievements, but not with real, heartfelt connections. Like taking care of a garden, rebuilding or maintaining friendships takes work. It's not about big gestures, but regular small acts of kindness and standing by someone. Start by reaching out, starting conversations, and being there for them, both in good times and bad. Remember that friendships grow deep roots over time, not overnight. The story of the boy and the tree teaches us that friendship is a two-way street that needs care and attention. Don't be the boy who only recognized the tree when he needed it. Instead, be the one who regularly values and cares for these relationships, whether your priorities are 6 or 7. Shifting goals is a silent force that often shapes the growth or decline of friendships in our lives, which are always changing as we balance work, school, and personal growth. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that is still relevant today, tells us to accept that life is always changing. Imagine that your life is like a river that is always flowing and changing course. As you go through the rapids of career advancement or the serene waters of family life, your time for social interactions naturally ebbs and flows. This isn't a failure on your part. It's just the reality of a fully lived life. Stoicism can help you deal with these times of change. Instead of cutting people out, this method helps you focus your energy on what's most important. By doing this, you respect not only your own time, but also the time of others, building real, fulfilling relationships. Being able to handle life's shifting priorities without giving up on friends doesn't mean you have to accept that some may drift away. Instead, it means understanding and accepting the natural flow of relationships. Some people will stay with you or even come into your life because of your new goals. Take this trip with wisdom and courage, and remember that each person you meet, whether they stay for a short time or a long time, adds something special to your life. Be there in your 8. Choose your lifestyle, connect with others, and let Stoicism help you make friends who are not only mean something to you now, but also to the person you are becoming. 7. Mental health. Our mental health is often overlooked in the busyness of life, is a quiet cornerstone in the building of friendships. The ancient Greek philosophy of Stoicism and the modern philosophy of resilience shed light on this. It's not about keeping your cool, it's about knowing how our minds work when we're anxious or depressed. It's like trying to find your way through a social maze at night. The Stoics teach us to light a torch, not to get rid of the darkness, but to see a way through it. As George Carlin said, beneath the cynicism lies a road to happiness. Outlook lies an optimist who has been let down. This isn't about putting on rose-colored glasses. It's about realizing that our mental fights can make walls up without us meaning to. Putting up walls between us and possible friends now. Let's do some real work. To be stoic, you don't have to quote Marcus Aurelius while drinking your coffee. First, there are steps that can be taken. Mindfulness isn't just a fancy word for thinking. It means being present in a world where attention is valuable. Being fully present in a conversation is like giving a rare gift. It shows that you care, which is valuable in terms of friendship. Meditation isn't just for monks, it's for everyone handling their busy lives. 10 minutes a day of meditation is good for your brain and sends a message to others that you value them. Because of this, clarity and calm. It might seem like a luxury to aim for peace and quiet in this always-on world, but it's what keeps bonds strong. Most of the time, finding tranquility doesn't mean going to a beach. It means finding peace in the middle of chaos. It means having an anchor so that when life storms happen, which they will, you're not pushed away. Friends aren't just for sunny days. they're also lifelines during storms. If you try to be calm inside, other people will want to turn to you. Stoicism teaches us that we can achieve this inner peace by being consistent and self-reflective. It's about being aware of our feelings. 9. Differences in interest mean that we need to understand them and not let them control what we do. Being indifferent isn't what this means. It means being in charge of how we deal with our feelings. When you master this, you become a beacon of stability in a world that is often uncertain. People are naturally drawn to people who seem calm and understanding. By working on your inner peace, you create an environment where friendships can grow without even meaning to. When you work on your mental health, remember that you're not only taking care of your mind, you're also planting the seeds for deeper, more meaningful relationships. 8 choices for living life moves quickly. Pace often leads to a path by yourself where ties fade. The picture in the background shows that you're rushing to meet goals. You're busy crossing things off your list, but the chair across from you at the dinner table is still empty at the end of the day. It's not just about being busy, it's about what you value. Stoicism pushes us to take a close look at the choices we make. Are you spending your time on things that really matter? It can be fun to think about this. Share. It's about being brave enough to turn down time. Stealers who don't meet your deeper need for connection should think about this method. Make plans for your day like a sculptor making a beauty. Every choice is like a knife that cuts out time for relationships and responsibilities. It's not about making your day longer to fit more in. It's about shaping it wisely. You may have less time to hang out with friends, but the quality of those times can soar if you choose people who share your ideals. It's not just about having a lot of friends. It's about having deep connections with them. Remember the Stoic art of balance. It's not enough to just divide your time evenly. You need to make sure it's spent on things that make your life truly satisfying. Think of your life as a mosaic, with each piece reflecting a different part of your existence. Hobbies, rest, and making friends. Each tile has a purpose, and your job is to arrange them in a way that makes a pattern that flows well. It's a balancing act that takes constant thought and change, but when you get it right, the picture of your life is not only beautiful, but also deeply satisfying. 9 different types of hobbies. Different interests can be like musical notes, each one unique but part of a bigger whole. When interests meet, it's not just a misty note, it's the symphony of connections that were never played. Let's say you like rock music, and your coworker likes classical music. There is a gap, but there is also a bridge ready to be crossed. Stoicism tells us to see these differences not as problems, but as ways to reach bigger goals. It whispers, find the harmony in discord. When we only focus on our own interests, we risk creating a bubble that limits our worldview and our group of friends. By welcoming the different passions around us, we not only discover new hobbies, but also new relationships and points of view. As the saying goes, variety is the spice of life. Stoicism urges us to be curious because each person we meet has a world of experiences, ideas, and passions to share. If you're a die-hard gamer and your neighbor is into gardening, don't just nod and walk away. Ask them about their favorite plant. It's not about pretending to love gardening. It's about appreciating their passion and letting them see and respect yours. Remember this: mutual interest is a strong glue that holds people with different hobbies together. What it means is realizing that beneath our interests and hobbies lie shared threads of excitement, determination, and joy. Stoicism helps us find the things we have in common, like ideals and feelings, instead of just wanting the same things. Imagine a world where friends don't just like the same things together, but also value and understand each other's differences. This world is where a sports fanatic and a reader can find something they have in common. They both work hard and love to learn. Stoicism teaches us to lead with an open mind and an open heart, making connections that aren't just about what we do, but also about who we are and what we can become together. Remember that the depth of our friendships isn't measured by how much we have in common, but by how we accept and grow from our differences. Stoicism isn't about hiding your feelings, it's about understanding and controlling them. Be open to finding friendships that make you feel good. If you liked what we talked about, please leave a thumbs up to help us reach more people who are looking for ancient wisdom. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get more lessons on ancient wisdom. We can't wait to hear from you. Tell us in the comments how you handle the waters of friendship. Until then, pick a movie from the list to keep learning about Stoicism. Stay calm and keep making those important connections.